track and field is a sport where most fans barely ever remember whoever was in second place. For that reason, the names Abby Steiner and Britton Wilson are names that should jog your memory. I haven't spoken on either of these athletes hardly at all this season. And the reason is because we didn't really see them run. In the case of Britton Wilson, she is actually back on the track, and trust me, I'm getting to that in a moment. But as far as Abby Steiner is concerned, she's been a ghost. We haven't seen her compete all throughout 2025. As far as I understand, both of them have dealt with incredibly serious injuries. And those injuries have, not just plagued them, it's really derailed what was the early part of their professional careers. Because, trust me, these women dominated. At the college level, they were breaking collegiate records, winning multiple national titles, and then went on the world stage immediately thereafter and came back with gold medals, albeit on relays. The fact that their talent was undeniable is why people have very high hopes for both of them, and things have not gone according to plan. So, with a video like this, I'm going to address, some of the elephants in the room. There's been some conversation in different pockets on both of these athletes, and I'm like, you know what? Hey, let's have the real conversation, because it's less about what they've already done or even what they're going to do, but let's have a very clear understanding of what we're expecting to happen if and when they come back. Remember, Britton Wilson is technically already back. Like I said, I'm getting to it in a moment. So, we know the current state of American sprinting right now. And when it comes to Abby Steiner, because I'm going to focus on her first, the 100 and the 200 are the events that she runs. But let's be very honest about it. She's really a 200-meter runner. She ran the 100 in college, but never won a national title in that event. That's very important. And then when it comes to running on the pro circuit, she's run 100s, but again, being in the front of the race in a Diamond League race or, even a Continental Tour that's, more high profile, that's not something that we ever really expected to see. As far as I remember, when I think about pro races that I've seen Abby Steiner run since she left college, I remember seeing her run a 300 indoors, and she won that against Jenna Prandini and some other folk. Again, I'm doing this entirely off of memory. But what I do need to point out is that her personal best in the 200 is 21.7 seconds. 21.77 to be exact, and I believe that was, on the way to winning the USA Championship in that event and then making the world final. That time alone, just throw it on the board. Only Julian Alfred this year is faster than that in the 200. It puts you in a very select group when you break 21.8. If we're talking about the women on the world stage right now, just going off of total career, who can go that fast? The answer is Julian Alfred, Shericka Jackson, Gabby Thomas. There might be another name, but they're escaping me at the moment. And the fact that I can't come up with it lets me know that probably not that person out there. Abby Steiner is that legitimate. So she is supposed to have world medals in the 200. If we're just going off of straight up talent. Again, her dominance in college is undeniable. Collegiate record in the 200, indoors and outdoors. And then, again, rolling it right into a USA Championship. The injury that she has, I believe, is, bone spurs and some things that are, again, incredibly serious, affected her ability to even walk normally. She basically looks like she's more or less going to have to take this season off and battle back from injury. We've seen something like this when you think about maybe a Trayvon Bromell and the types of injuries that, took him off the track for a very long stretch of time. You got to learn how to walk again, forget about training. So she might come back. And if she does, that already is an accomplishment if she can get back on the track and run fast. But if she can be herself, like the woman that we saw before, the people on the world stage had better recognize that when it comes to Team USA in the 200, if a healthy Abby Steiner is actually pulling up, then yeah, that's one of those 200 spots that's gone. Like Gabby Thomas showing up healthy to a Team USA championship, that's a spot that's gone. That's how it's been since she became this version of herself, really from the last Olympics, and I'm talking like 2021, till now. Gabby Thomas pulls up, that's a spot that you're not going to see. Only 2 more spots remaining. Abby Steiner is also in that group. I said it back in 2024, like when we didn't really know what we were going to get from Abby Steiner. And she did go to the USAs, she did compete, and she competed hurt. And after the Olympic trials, which she still made the final, she let us know how serious it was and, went into getting surgery and, moving forward with her recovery. But even at that moment, we know who America was supposed to send over in the 200 on straight up talent. Emphasis on straight talent. Like, just focusing on that, not just the competition. The 200 meter is supposed to be Gabby Thomas, Sha'Carri Richardson, and Abby Steiner. They're the most talented sprinters that we have. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, and if you really want to know what's going on with the fastest athletes in the world, then you are in the right place. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. Sha'Carri Richardson, who we don't identify with the 200 much, has a bronze medal from 2023 in that event. She didn't just make the team. She beat everybody else in the world who wasn't Shericka Jackson and wasn't Gabby Thomas. And that includes Julian Alfred, who was in that 200 meter race. Just saying. I mean, granted, it was Julian Alfred then, not Julian Alfred now. But I said what I said. So, Abby Steiner is in that group. She just has to get back, because I really haven't seen anything change in the landscape when you look at Team USA and like who runs the 200 to say that she would be kept off the team if she's running close to her best self. Like I said, if she's really at that level. America takes the 200 seriously. We have a whole bunch of women who run that event, and they're all very fast. You look at the world leaderboards. Last time I checked it, in the top 10, only 2 women on that list were not American. One was at the top, that's Julian Alfred, and the other was number 6. That was Favor Ofili from Nigeria. Everybody else is American. We can only send 3 people to the Worlds or the Olympics. It just is what it is. So Abby Steiner has going to have, her work cut out to her, certainly in recovery and such. But if we're just talking straight up talent, if you're waiting for her to come back, and she does eventually make it back, because she's going to have to make that decision, and, I'm rooting for her. I would love to see her on the track and do what she does. I'm still going to conclude that a healthy Abby Steiner, you put her on that, in that group of that spot belongs to you. She's likely going to make a world final. We just don't know what's going to happen when she's in that final. When you move over to Britton Wilson, she was different because she ran the 400 and the 400 hurdles. She actually won the 400 hurdles back in 2022 at the NCAA level. Goes over to the Worlds, makes a final in that event. Runs on a relay, gets a gold medal in the 4x4, then comes back to college. She breaks the indoor collegiate record in the 400, then goes outdoors and attempts the 400 hurdle double, which was incredibly challenging. She didn't win gold in either because, with the amount of rounds she had to, to run it, like she kind of took a dip in both. I mean, she was still competitive. She made the finals, but it is what it is. On the pro circuit, the injuries that she's dealt with have, really shut her down for, we really didn't see much of her after we saw her at the USA's in 2023. But that was it. That's the last we really remember seeing Britton Wilson. After that, the injuries and everything else that derailed, her career till this point, we now get to see her back running now. And she pulled up to the Ed Murphy Classic. I'd say that's the first real Britton Wilson sighting that we have. And she went 50.5 seconds to win the Pro 400. Granted, Sydney, who was supposed to be at that race, didn't run. The same Sydney who beat her at the USA's in 2023, ironically. But Britton Wilson was there, she took care of business, and she beat everybody on the field. It puts her inside the top 15 400 runners, that we have in America, and she really doesn't have, hardly any races under her belt this season. She'll be at the USA's, and we'll see what happens. Britton Wilson is in another unique pocket. If you just want to talk about clock and performances, go back to her collegiate record indoors. That alone, bring that same time, bring that outdoors. If she can just get there, she's likely going to make Team USA again. Remember, she did it before. 2023, Britton Wilson was on that team for the Open 400. 2022, Britton Wilson was on that team for the Open 400 hurdles. See what I'm saying? Both of these women, Britton Wilson now is who we're talking about. She's on that talent line where, for the most part, her operating at her absolute best, there's very few people who can keep her off of a team. It's almost a foregone conclusion that when she shows up, she's getting one of those spots. 49 low. 49 low anything, 49.4, 49.3, 49.2 in a USA Championship final is likely going to get you on a team. And it's also the type of talent that's likely going to get you into a world final. When it comes to getting medals, you still got to go through Paulino and Nasser. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand that. But the final, and I mean, whatever's going to happen, amongst the people who are running in that, if you are that level of talent, like what we know Britton Wilson has, you should be that far. We are now living in a world where, we have a whole bunch of fast women across the 200, the 400, and for that matter, the 100, but there still is like a top line of talent. And when we talk about that top line, that's a spot or spots that, leave in an event group, but it's still wide open after that. The names are going to swap in and out year to year. I expect that who we send over in the 200 and the 400 this year, that we're probably going to see a name that people aren't as familiar with, or maybe they forgot about, haven't seen as much. But if Britton Wilson and Abby Steiner are able to get back to being themselves, that Team USA qualification thing is going to get a whole lot harder for everybody else. But until that time comes, I'm going to choose to focus on just how talented they've already proven to be. They don't actually have to get faster to be a problem for the rest of the world. They just have to go out there and prove it. Again. In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything. Because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true. That fast is a lifestyle. Get your Fast is a Lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.